Hey guys, Alkaline here with my top 10 tips for squad mode Pubg. They are built on what my squad mates and I have learned from hundreds of hours of gameplay, and also there's some basic military strategy.
Two dead.
Don't shoot at someone just because you can, unless you have to because they spotted you or something. We've all done it many times, and I myself am guilty of this one. You and your squad mates are geared up and are moving to the next location when you spot an enemy a few hundred meters away. They haven't seen you or your teammates, you have a suitable gun for the engagement, you just start shooting at them. This is a very bad situation to put you and your team into. Even if you manage to knock the enemy out, you probably don't know where the rest of the team is, and most likely none of your teammates know either. Your team will have to react quickly to get angles on the engagement, and you are likely to end up in a drawn out engagement that will waste time, use up a lot of ammo and meds, and open your squad up to attack from elsewhere due to all the gunfire. What you should do when you spot an enemy is inform your teammates of the enemy you spotted, and then monitor them and assess whether engaging them is a good idea, and see how many teammates they have with them, and so on. A lot of time it will be better not to engage, or to watch them or wait till your team can get a better angle on the enemy squad at a different location. Here's an example of ignoring this tip.
Go with me, on the road.
Knocked one, knocked one.
Oh, knocked out.
Come in.
Oh shit, my fucking potatoes.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Jesus.
And here's an example of following this tip.
I see him.
One's gone.
Oh, I didn't shoot the
Be
button.
careful.
Land in the right location for your squad size and playstyle. This is essential for your squad to survive the early game and have enough gear to push through the mid game. Some people like to drop in popular spots like the school or the military base, which is fine, but you are likely to lose squad members when you do this. Try to drop around 2 kilometers, which is 2 big squares on the map, from the plane, and maybe even find a vehicle to travel even further. Some good locations, which are generally less popular, are Kameshki, Zaki, Severny, Primorsk, the Milta area, Stalba, North Georgiapol. My squad and I often aim for these areas. Just be sure to scout for vehicles if you drop to the outer areas of the map, or the circle could screw your game up. Don't get scared of the first circle though. If you want to loot a little bit longer, the first circle is easily out-healed. Calling out and sharing loot. In duos and squads you are a unit, each member is part of your team and you should all try to look out for each other. This counts for looting as well. The RNG of the loot system means that different people will come across different loot, and that can mean different squad members ending up with more gear than others. Call out gear you're missing while looting, and also call out gear you don't need but think your other teammates might. You can actually press insert by default to drop a marker on your current location, which is very useful for marking loot for a teammate who wants the gear you just found. After you've all finished your initial looting after landing, everyone should learn to call out how many meds and how much ammunition they have, and anyone who's lacking should be supplemented by others who have excess. If one of you is under-equipped and runs out of ammo in a fight, or can't heal up anymore, and someone else has plenty of meds themselves, then that's a bad situation that didn't need to happen. No one is going to burn through 300 rounds, and no one needs 10 first aids to themselves. Leadership and decision making. I see a lot of people saying that you need a leader for a squad, but that is purely dependent on the players forming that squad. If you've all got roughly equal experience, then there's no reason that you can't make decisions together in Battlegrounds. Make suggestions and see what your teammates think. Sometimes people have had bad experience with certain areas of the map, and they can see a problem with a suggestion that you didn't think of. Just be quick and be certain. If you bail on a plan you all agreed on because maybe you got engaged when you didn't expect it, everyone is going to be in panic mode, and a squad in panic mode is a squad that's soon going to be dead. Here's what happens when there isn't a solid plan.
Ahead, directly in front of us, in front of this bridge. Stop, stop, stop. Oh, fuck.
Go right, go right, go right.
Fucking hell.
Right, help me. Southeast up the hill.
Oh, fucking hell.
And here's what happens when there is a solid plan.
Yeah, they're gonna cross, they're gonna cross.
Yeah.
Should we get to this edge of the bridge here?
I'm trying to. Oh, you're running. Yeah, I see him. No, wait, let him jump over. Yeah, shoot. Oh shit! Fuck! Left. Sorry. Behind the tree.
Woo!
Nice one, man. Nice one.
Fucking Glock.
Positioning. This one is very important, and you'll find most squads that win their chicken dinner have good positioning. Positioning means using cover and concealment. It means not sitting behind the same place as the rest of your squad. It means maintaining good spacing between your teammates at all times. It also means getting to advantageous parts of the terrain, such as the roof of a building or the high ground of the final circle. Positioning is a full squad effort, and the key part is to position yourselves where you want to be, and not where the blue zone or your enemies force you to be. Here is an example of a badly positioned squad.
I'm trying to get another
Stunning.
tree. There's a guy. What? Behind us. Behind us. There's a guy who's prone as well. Like right below us. Prone at the tree. Prone at the tree. Right below and prone towards us. Oh, he's behind the tree. Shit, he's behind the tree. Shit.
Oh, fuck me.
And here is an example of a well-positioned squad.
We're in the perfect spot, by the way, here by the road, guys.
I think they've got to be,
down
Lily's
here.
got him.
150.
He's dead.
Nice, nice.
One on the rock, 150. Got him, headshot. Fucking the tip of his head.
Nice.
There's the other guy.
One more down there. One more down there.
Flanking. This technically falls into positioning, but it is such an important tactic by itself that I'm giving it its own number. A well executed flanking maneuver can decimate an enemy team, while at the same time a badly executed flank can get you killed and drag your squad into a bad fight while trying to save you. The best flank is one your enemy team doesn't notice or expect, which means you have to be fast, use cover or concealment, and the terrain to your advantage. Sometimes it's even worth using a vehicle, although some vehicles are too slow to do this effectively.
Okay, cover.
Here is an example of myself executing a flank on another squad.
One by the rock. Gonna frag him. Nice. There's other guy by the rock.
There's still one.
Where is he?
At the rock.
What rock?
Got
Oh,
him.
yeah,
He's
I
knocked.
see him.
There's still another up.
Nice.
Oh, grenade!
Fuck. Oh, and again, got hit.
Yeah, grenades are being chucked.
I got him.
towards
They're
us,
dead. They're dead. All dead.
Good job.
Nice, nice, nice.
Calling contact. This should become the bread and butter of how all teams operate. Collecting information, no matter how relevant it may seem, and then sharing that information is vital for you and your squad mate to maintain awareness of the surroundings. When you spot an enemy, you should call it, whether they are 10 meters away or at the edge of the horizon. When calling contact, you should state the distance of the enemy, the direction and how many there are. Describing what they are doing or specifically where they are is useful too, but always leave that until last. You should typically use the compass directions and only use the specific degree numbers when your squad mates are in a very similar facing position to you. These numbers mean very little if your team are more than 20 meters away from you. An example might be contact close, northwest, 2 guys, running between the hay bales. You can even follow up with advice after a call out, like don't shoot yet, or they've seen us, and so on. If you are calling out targets with the intent to fire, your call out will give your teammates all the information they need to spot the targets and reposition in order to make the engagement a success, or to ensure they don't get spotted by them if you don't want to engage.
No eyes.
They're moving down to the dip southeast.
I see him.
There's a guy. There's a guy on my north. There's a guy on my north.
No cover.
Okay.
There's a guy on my north, guys.
Oh yeah, see him.
105, no cover. Good job.
Gilly. Got a ghillie. I had shots on him. He's down. He's injured.
Fucking finally knocked.
Nice.
Jeez, man. Get this dude.
I'm out circled.
He's
but-
dead.
Nice.
Communication. With everything I've already covered, you should be communicating naturally with your teammates already. But sometimes there are large amounts of time where there's nothing of value to communicate between yourselves. This silence is where people can lose track of the plan, wander too far from each other, or second guess what their teammates' intentions are. Now I don't mean you should ask each other about the weather or how everyone's weekend was, but more like asking if anyone's seen a vehicle or talking about where the next zone is likely to be. Just make sure it's useful communication and not unnecessary. Here is an example of good continued communication.
Knock one.
Good job, man.
They're getting right, my guy died. There's contacts northeast. They tagged me so hard. In the field somewhere. Circle is moving. Make sure you're in.
Restraint when spectating. It's fairly normal for part of the squad to get killed during a match, leaving them to spectate the remaining players. If you are spectating someone, there are things you can do to help, but it's easy to go too far and actually become a hindrance. If you think they missed good loot or didn't spot an enemy, then calling out that information is great. Telling them what to do or how to play is just not fun for anyone. There's a fine balance between enough information and too much information, and different players will have a different threshold for that level of information. Here's an example of too much information.
Guys on your left.
Get to that tree and just hold it maybe.
Yeah, get to that tree, get to
He's
that tree.
alive, he's alive.
No.
Right side live.
Go right side, right.
And here's an example of just enough
Go grows up.
Motherfucker.
Nade.
You got this. You got this.
Good strats, man, good strat. Another one, another. Neither of you have circle.
Red Bull energy.
Prioritizing targets. Okay, last tip here. And while fairly basic, it needs to be brought up, as in duo and squads you are playing as a team, and you should focus on the survival of your team as a whole. That means eliminating enemies in order of threat, and not just killing everyone as fast and aggressively as you can. If you knock out an enemy, and you know he's not near a teammate, then don't necessarily kill him straight away. Use him as bait. If they are behind good cover, it can be worth finishing them off so they don't get revived. But usually, the enemy who has targeted you for knocking their teammate is a bigger threat. The priority will vary from situation to situation, but there's no point in you focusing on kills if it means your teammates are getting knocked out in the process.
Got them both.
Nice. What the hit points I got there, man.
Yeah, sorry, man, sorry.
It's good. No, I'm not complaining, this is crazy.
Guys,
more,
guys,
yeah. Knocked one, there's one at the UI further up.
Got him.
Nice, good shooting.
Well, that's my top 10 tips for duo and squad in PUBG. I really hope you learned something that you can add to your game. If you did enjoy the content, please like the video and also subscribe if you want to see more in the future. If you think you have better tips to offer, then leave a comment about it. Maybe I can learn something new from you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.